Hello there. Now, I just want to have a quick word about my latest project that's been keeping me busy for quite a few hours. In fact, 22 hours I've been working on this little piece here. Now, let me give you a bit of background. This is an Elmer the Elephant. Okay, and a few months ago in Blackpool, hometown, Blackpool, they had an arty thing going on where they had 60 of these elephants, much bigger than this, probably about 10 times bigger than this, is huge things, which they asked different artists to decorate however they wanted, and they placed them around Blackpool. Like I say, there were 60 altogether, and they're out and around Blackpool. There was an Elmer trail and stuff like that going on, and at the end of it they sold them off for charity for the Brian House Hospice, the children's hospice nearby in Blackpool. Now, one of my friends bought this, although it didn't look like this when he bought it. It was pure white, a simple slip cast mould of Elmer, and he bought it as a little present for himself, a little retirement present, because he's in the process of selling up a newsagents which his parents set up 60 years ago, 1964, and him and his wife took over, and they are about to retire, and he wanted a little memento of his time at the newsagent. So he asked me, mad fool, he asked me if I would like to decorate it for him. Never done anything like this before. I thought, give it a go, see what happens. So I said yes, not a problem. And here we are. Now, like I say, originally this was white. This is made of clay. It scared the life out of me doing this, because I don't want to drop it, it'll shatter. It's what they call a slip cast model, where they pour liquid clay into a mould, and you let the clay set round the mould, and then you pour out the excess. So it is hollow. Okay, it is hollow, and you can actually see, well, you can't see actually because I've hidden it, but there's a tiny little hole in there going inside. With it being clay, obviously clay's got to be fired, and the fire looks about 980 degrees C. If this was solid, it'd blow up, because you've got the air inside, trapped inside, and with clay shrinks as it dries out. It shrinks. It's going to dry out quite a lot in the kiln, so it'll shrink. Air, when that heats up, gets bigger. So you've got the shrinking clay, the air getting bigger. Boom! So you've got to put a little hole in it. I've hidden the hole. You can't see it. I've hidden it with my painting, but there is a little hole there going inside. There you go. Well, there's a little bit of ceramics knowledge for you. I knew I did my ceramics degree for some reason. Now it's come out. So anyway, yeah. So this was cast out. I'd love to see the mould how they did it, because it's quite an intricate thing, really. So anyway, I took on the task of designing this, and what I'll show you at the end of the video, I'll show you a few photographs that I took to show the different stages, how I did it. I probably spent about 2 hours at a time working on it. So I didn't have a clue what I was going to put on. All we knew was that it had to be related to the newsagents and post office, which my friend owned. So I actually went on their website, found loads of pictures from the website, and literally just started in one area, whacking them all on. Okay, and first of all, I just did a rough outline as to what was going to go where, and as you go along, you don't know exactly what you're doing, but as you go along, you think, oh right, yeah, that'll fit in there, so I'll put that in there, and I just gradually built it up. Okay, now if I just show you in a little bit more detail, again I've got to pick it up, so it's going to scare the life out of this. What I actually started, once I'd drawn it all out, my friend came round, he had a look at it, he said, right, can you change this, can you change it? Yeah, not a problem at all. sorted out. Then I started painting. To paint it, I used acrylic paints and the Posca pens. Acrylic paint for the big areas, Posca pens for some of the finer detail. And when I started painting it, I literally started down there. Now, a lot of people say, what on earth has a spade got to do with the newsagents, which is on there? Okay, well, unfortunately, a few years ago, someone decided that they wanted some cigarettes from the newsagents. Unfortunately, they decided this about, I think it was about 4 or 5 early hours of the morning, whatever. They didn't have a key. What did they use for a key? Yeah, they used a garden spade, smash the window. So there's meaning behind that there. Okay, so you've got a little smash there. You've got the garden spade. What I then went on to was I started with the back. This little character, I forget his name now. I was reminded about it, I forget it. This little character, he appears on loads of cards, like Valentine's Day cards, birthday cards, etc. And I thought he was absolutely perfect to fit on the elephant's bum, because you've got the elephant's tail here, that's where the nose fits perfectly there. So whacked him on there. And then we have, if I just move around here, I'll just really go through what here. So we've got David, Jane, Jack and his mum and dad, the original owners of the newsagents. Obviously the post office. We've then got Evening Gazette. Got to have the Evening Gazette on, haven't you? And what I try to do with any magazines or newspapers, I try to find some. These are actual copies of the newspapers and magazines as you see around here. So I tried to find some that had some link to Blackpool, etc. And there you go, the Gazette, etc. There. We then moved on. I thought that post box fitted beautifully onto the leg there, and that is the actual post box that's outside the newsagents. God knows what people thought. I went up and took a photograph of it, saying, "What's that weirdo doing? Take a photograph of the post box." Oh, there we go, we got that there. Daily Mirror. That's all linked to the England football team. Then I thought, let's add some up-to-date money. Good old King Charles on there, etc. I then moved round to the other side. We've got a picture of the actual shop. Drinks bottles. Originally I put prime bowls there, but then I was told that he didn't really agree with the nonsense around prime, etc. So we got rid of that, and I put these on them. Sweets, People's Friend, classic magazine from any newsagents. My grandma used to read that all the time. And then moving round, I thought it'd be quite nice to have the Queen on there. So we've got one of the old stamps on there, more sweets, birthday badges, etc. And then moved up onto the top. We've got Charlie there on the new fiver. Then the classic staple of any sweet shop, you've got the jars of sweets, shrimps. Got to have shrimps in there, haven't you? Mars bar, dairy milk, Walker's crisps, and then moving on round to the top here. Got to have the Beano one. If you've got somewhere that sells magazines, you've got to have the Beano one. Okay, and there's back to mirror. I think we've got all round there, and then finally we came round towards the front, the most recent stuff. Radio Times. I wanted a what you could class as an iconic cover for the Radio Times, so I chose Christmas, but I didn't want to put a big Santa Claus on there, so we went for this one, which actually had the Doctor Who TARDIS on, etc. And then thinking about what I could put at the front there, I thought the cream egg fitted quite nicely into the front of the trunk, and then onto the trunk, Chuppa Chups lolly, which goes nicely into that trunk there. And then the final bit, you've got to have the Elmer eyes. That just finished it off. And once I'd done all that, I put a coat of lacquer on it, which has sealed it all in nicely, and that is a case of job is done. Happy days. So hopefully I'm about to message the boss now, and hopefully he'll be very happy with what I've done for him. And I've got to say, I really did enjoy doing this. It's something I've never done before, and I'll always say this with any sort of artwork: if you ain't done it, how do you know what it's going to be like when it's done? Go for it. It really was quite a tricky thing, because I did have to paint most of it like that on my knee, like that. You know, because you can't have it on the table and try and paint up next to it. So it was literally nestled in my knee as I painted along and moved it around. And like I say, it has absolutely scared the life out of me. As soon as I finish this video, it's going in the box, and that's it. Boom! I'm not going to touch it again. Pass it over. But there you go. Thought you might like to see that. Waffled on for a bit, but I'm really quite pleased with this. Bring on the next adventure. Let's see what we do next. Bye for now.